Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations Live on Friday night, where tonight I'm going to teach you how to make a lemon inspired summer wreath using this sign from Craft Outlet, which is a 10 by 10 MDF sign. We're going to be using some jute burlap, lemon yellow and white colored mesh, and then introducing some ribbons, adding some lemons, some lemon slices. So I hope you guys are ready to embark on this journey with me. Before we get started, if you're new here, let us know. We'd like to welcome you. Also, let us know where you're from, because sometimes those first encounters happen on Facebook Lives, and then you find out you have a crafting buddy that lives not too far near you. Also, if you are not getting notifications, a lot of times when Facebook does updates, things kind of have a habit of like going back to a default status where you're not really following anyone anymore. So if you're not getting the notifications while we're on live right now, click the video on the top right hand corner. I believe there's 3 dots. You click that and there's like a little sub menu that'll open up, and it'll say turn on notifications if they're not on, or turn off notifications if they are on. And you can do that for all of your Facebook Lives to make sure you're not missing any of them. So, I think we're ready. Let me get my tablet up and working. I had it working here for a second, and then it kind of just glitched out.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Yes,
Please
happy
feel free
Friday.
to like and share.
That's another thing too. Make sure you like and share this post. It's especially helpful if you're going to place an order for the materials, kind of pull off a similar design, and you are like, oh, I totally don't remember, when did you do that live? If you click the share, it just saves it to your Facebook page. It's what I did when I very first started out until I got those materials in and then created my own creations. So I think we're done. Let's get started. We are using a jute burlap mesh. This cannot be cut with a wood burning tool because it contains a cotton or a jute, which is an imitation burlap fiber. These are all cut to 20-inch pieces. We're going to be using all 18 of these, but I need to finish wiring up my wreath frame first. Let me get my color-coded ones. I think these are right. I've done...
Hi, Georgina, Kathy.
Sorry.
Mary, Melissa, Anna.
That's right. I need to just wipe my comments back in. So we're going to finish wiring up our 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I've done the first 5, so you don't have to sit there and watch this 5 more times. But you're going to take your pipe cleaner, using your 2 weld marks. You're going to go right in between your inside 2. So the 2 rings closest to the inside, I wire those together. And then we're going to do the same for the outside 2, only using the inside one we just put on and then the weld, and kind of find a halfway point somewhere in between there.
Yeah, thanks for 700 stars.
Yeah, we haven't done the stars thing for
Hi,
a while.
Lily. Yeah. Hi, Audrey.
Slacking a little bit. I will make sure that we get that updated. I think we'll update it more as we go into July. But there you have it. 2 on the outside of the section, 1 on the inside. This way it leaves you with a grand total of 12 on the outside, 6 on the inside. Total is 18. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start taking our Deco mesh. We're going to put these into ruffles because our sign's a little bit big. And we're going to be adding all those embellishments later, and we don't want to like miss those in the process of putting this together.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Anna.
What's that?
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, yes, Father's Day weekend.
Sunday, right?
Yeah, but it's still Father's Day weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
So we've got finished edges. We're going to take the finished edges, place those to the inside. We're going to secure our pipe cleaner. Give it a couple twists, because I've had it happen in the past when I've done it just 2 or 3 times. I don't know if it's maybe as I go back and add ribbon or something to it, they come undone. So we're going to cut off the inside ones as we come to them. And we're going to do this about 18 more times. If you notice in each of the sections you have that centerpiece, what that centerpiece is doing is it's providing coverage for the outside too in the middle so you don't have gaps. So I'm hoping that that helps. We talked about you have to use a regular rotary cutter for these because of the natural fibers, so no wood burning tool. I love this color mesh, this particular yellow. Yellow is kind of like one of those colors that you can get a varying degree of, you know, sometimes it's more orange, sometimes it's a little bit more red. There we go. So as you are doing your cruffles, you're just kind of pulling it towards you in little pleats. Some people call it a bow tie method. Basically, it's the same style method to doing deco mesh. 2 twists, and then I generally won't open this up until I get that middle one in. So you're going to see that this will have frays that happen because there is nothing catching those end pieces. So right here, slide this in the inside, give it a couple twists. We will remove that. And then we're going to tuck that inside. And then now I can lift this one, the one preceding it, up and over that particular middle section. And then that way it'll make your wreath a little bit more full. So do you guys have plans for the weekend? Are you doing anything special for the dad figure in your house? Like our kids, you'll get the phone calls, but I don't think none of the kids are coming. They all live too far away. We've officially hit that benchmark where they're too far away to visit now. This one. You can totally tell these are the really tight ones to the inside of the end of the roll. Those are great for adding to the inside. Try to get your pipe cleaner around. 2 twists. Again, we're going to wait until we get that inside one, but I want to make sure my pipe cleaner's out of the way. I've had this sign sitting for a couple months and just waiting to get all my supplies in to put this one together. Sometimes you got to wait for the right ribbon to come in or the right mesh to become available again. There we go. Back on the inside, and then we can take this one, the one preceding it. Now we can fluff that one out the rest of the way. We will also be adding more kids next week. Yeah, next week. I'm waiting for some more supplies to come in. I've ordered some new signs for Halloween and fall. Pretty much went through almost everything I had. So there's that. It's going to definitely feel very summery.
Sebastian Lemore said hi from France.
Hi, how are you?
Just love all your wreaths so much. Little question here. How long should each piece of mesh be?
It depends on the method that you're using. So the method that I'm doing now is the ruffle method. So I always say 20 inch is a good place to start, especially if you have really good quality mesh. If your mesh is a little on the thin side, you might want to push it out to 25 or 30. But then once you do that, you're automatically into another roll of Deco mesh. By cutting 18 pieces at 20 inches on a 30-foot or 10-yard roll, you have exactly enough. And I did cut these ones all at 20, just to see if it would actually go the full 20, because I had an extra roll just in case I had a full 20. Yeah.
But sometimes they don't give you a full roll. Sometimes they short you a couple inches.
Yeah, it never fails. I mean, I've had it where you have splices right in the middle of a roll of Deco mesh. Yeah. So, and that is not a good place to be.
And thank you for watching, Sebastian, because it's got to be pretty late where you are. I think they're 8 or 10 hours ahead of us. So.
Possibly.
Linda said, quiet day at home. She's quarantined. Her husband was exposed to COVID.
I don't know.
Yeah, praying you both have a negative test. Or he has a negative test.
Or just praying that the symptoms are very mild.
And Linda asked, Kathy, are you going to be putting more Halloween kits in your shop?
Yes, I am. I ordered, trying to think of how many signs I ordered. Maybe about 20 signs. So I have all the materials, I ran out of the signs for Halloween.
I know there's a lot of people asking, are you going out of business?
Yes. No, I am not going out of business. This is exactly what has happened in almost 5 years of wreath making. You know, if you catch all the sales while stuff's going on sale, you can really score a lot of really good stuff. And then you have to hold on to it to next year. And then next year rolls around and you're like, oh, but look at all the pretty stuff this year. So you may dip into some of, the year before. So I really just have that much overstock. And I enjoy putting the kits together is my second passion because they're all unique. Just like this design, there won't be another one like it.
Especially great, thank you, Kat. I'll definitely order from you one of your sets. Just remember those. I don't
ship to France.
Ship to France, yeah.
Yet. We are working on that. I've had so many people from Canada ask me, will you ship to Canada? And I was like, I'm not at that point yet, but we are looking.
I mean, if you're willing to pay for the shipping charges, which could be really, really high.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So I want to be in a place where I can offer the same level of support that I can offer United States customers, meaning, I can get the turnaround pretty quick. Right now with customs, it could be anywhere from
weeks.
It could be 30 days. So who knows?
They said, it's 2 a.m. here in Paris, but it's so difficult to sleep with the heat wave they're facing.
So let me ask you this question. What is the heat wave in Paris? Like, what is the temperatures? And I think you'll probably give it to us in Celsius, because I think that's kind of what Ben used to do. And it depends. I guess it depends on where your climate is, because we have people who live up north, and for them, hot is an 80, 85 degree day. Yeah. For us, hot is anything over 100 plus day.
I'm reading Europe heat wave on Thursday, parts of France at 40 Celsius.
So what is that? Because, we don't convert to Celsius.
We should.
Why? I like Fahrenheit.
That would be 104, so that's pretty hot.
So that's hot.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah. So, wow, 104 degrees in Paris.
See, 104 feels a lot hotter than 40 Celsius.
Right.
But to them, that's what they go by. We're backwards and everything. Well, for us, summertime, 104 is an average.
Yeah, well, where we live in the desert is an average. It's not for the rest of the world's average.
Yeah.
Or the United States average, I should say. People like Arizona, maybe parts of Texas, would be used to the 100 plus. Okay, this is our last inside one, so we're just about finished. 2 more pieces to go.
Brenda knows it's Sprinkled Love from Alberta, Canada. Thank you, Brenda.
Oh, Canada. Nice and cold. Yeah. Is it cold in Canada? Just because it's north doesn't mean that it's necessarily cool.
Kathy Proctor said, thank you for doing a wreath without wood burning. Some of us can't use a wood burner because of health reasons.
Oh, absolutely. And you can always do any of the designs that I have that I do wood burn. You just would choose not to. And in order to cut down on the fraying, there's a product called E6000. It's like a spray glue. And when I first heard about it, I was like, spray glue? I don't really want to put that on my mesh because I don't want it to feel hard and plastic-like. But this actually dries really nice. It still allows you to retain the softness of your mesh, but it keeps all those frays, like all these little yellow pieces here. It keeps all that from continuing to do so, should say. It just keeps the fibers in. And actually, there's different types of methods you can use if you don't wood burn to help with the fraying, like Cruffle method, where you're curling the ends up. You won't have those frays because those cut edges are like kept in the curl. Or curl method, or a poof method, or bubble. There's a lot out there. So this is just a jute, so it's like, is it one down? Similar to like a fabric mesh. So let me undo this one. So I had that one sitting next to it. Okay, so that is our sunny. This is a yellow with white cotton fibers through it. So as you can see, this is what happens on a normal wreath, using any type of material unless you would burn it. So,
Debbie asked, after spraying, how long does it need to dry?
It's supposed to be 24 hours naturally, but if you take a blow dryer to it, you can speed up the process. Or a really hot 104 degree day.
Right.
That will work. Okay, ribbons for today are, we're going to add those pops of black. So we find I have these all coordinated by color. Split them.
Andy Warner said that was funny. Ooh, Canada, it's cold. It's been far from it, so I guess it can be.
It could be hot too.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So.
Well, we're looking at moving
to Washington.
So
2.5 inch. We have lemon print on white craft outlet. It is in stock. And black and white plaid, 2.5 inch, also in stock, craft outlet. So, because I was just pulling up the list for these. Cut to 14-inch pieces. We're going to alternate these. I'm going to do the yellow on the yellow. So wherever I have yellow just to the outside, I'm going to add a 14-inch piece. And then since we're doing this, let's do it all together and finish it. Then what I'm going to do is come in with a 19-inch, 1.5 inches. Again, the lemon, this one is the lemon blossoms on yellow. So we have lemons on white and then white lemon blossoms on yellow. 19-inch piece. We're going to do a half bow. So we already have our edges dovetailed. You're going to bring those together. You're going to go up about 2 inches from the top. You're going to pinch that in. That's going to go right inside that section. We're going to give it a couple twists because we're technically done with this one. We'll cut the excess off.
Deborah Carmen said, I just started watching you a couple weeks ago and I ordered a kit a few days ago. I love it. Thank you so much.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope you enjoy the kits being put together. So once you put the 1.5 inch in, you're going to, you have to right side one of your ribbons because when they go in, when they're like this is what happens. We're pinching in. Right where my finger is where it's going in the pipe cleaner. So one side is perfect, but you've got to right side the other. And that's, in a sense, what you're doing. And then you're opening the bow. And then this is a half bow. I created those because when I first started watching the Deco mesh wreath methods, I would watch people put like 2.5 inch in the center. And then there would be nothing else in that pipe cleaner or the tinsel tie space. And I always felt like it needed something in the middle. So that was just my take on the whole thing.
I just said some places up in Canada are 42 Celsius, which is around 107.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize it got that hot up there.
Well, now we know. We are not the only ones. Clearly not the only ones. So we're going to put the black and white plaid on our white pipe cleaner spaces. Pop those out. And we're going to add, these are called glitter pearls, circles on black. Also craft outlet. Same thing. We're going to do the same exact method. You're going to pinch that in. We're adding these to the plaid. I'll spin this around in a second so you can see what the finish looks like without the pipe cleaner in the way. Okay, hang tight. I see you zooming in, zooming out.
Yeah. Well, I tried to get a close-up of the ribbon and then you too quick getting it.
Oh, getting it on the inside?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Everybody just join in. Hope you have a great weekend or a Friday night so far.
Yes, happy Friday. Thank God the weekend is here. It feels like it has been a really long week. Like a really long week. Okay, so now you can zoom in because that's what they look like on that side.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep going all the way around. So this is our fun interactive Ask Me Questions time. So what questions do you have? It doesn't necessarily have to be about the design. It can be about anything you have a question of regarding wreath making. And I'd be happy to answer it for you if I know.
Linda said it's 70 degrees in north central Washington. Been a cool rainy spring.
Washington has gotten a lot of rain.
What city are you again, Linda?
Central Washington.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
To me, that's like almost Tri-Cities, Kennewick.
Yakima.
Yakima, maybe. Yakima's kind of further west.
Is it? No, Yakima's like central, like southern central, I would think. Let's see.
Doris asked, do the ribbons just go on the outer pipe cleaners?
Yes, because remember we took the inside out as we were filling them, because our sign with a 10 by 10 inch should have measured on a 14-inch Dollar Tree frame, I'm guessing the inside circumference would be maybe 10 inches on the inside circle.
Yeah, 10 to 12. Yeah, I think it's 10.
It's not 12.
I think it's 10, yeah.
I can look. I can just flip it and look. Let's solve that mystery instead of being like, I think. Let's know. So when you have a sign like a 12-inch round, 12-inch round would still work perfect on a 14-inch wreath like this. When you're adding 10-inch deco mesh, it's going to make it a 24-inch, sometimes 25, depending upon your ribbon and how you place your deco mesh. Sometimes it's super easy to figure out your dimensions, because on a 14-inch you add, with 10-inch deco mesh, you're going to add 5 inches. Well, just add 10 inches to the whole thing. I'm like, it's 5 on this side, 5 on that side.
Miranda said, do you have a video on how to make a burlap and ribbon wreath?
Burlap and ribbon.
Well, she has both, how to make a burlap wreath and a ribbon wreath, right?
Yeah, so totally different. I'm trying to think, what would that look like together?
And Deborah said it's been a really long week. Kat she had a show today in Texas, 104, which is also humid out there. So I hope you did good on your show.
Yeah, did you do really good on your show? I think that, man, I couldn't imagine being outside in that type of.
And Glenda, she can show you again. She said, hi, just joined. I missed how you did the loop for the half bow.
Okay, I'll show you. So, it's easier if I show you on the outside rather than putting it in, because they kind of, the yellow blends with the yellow. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your tails together. You're going to go up about 2 inches from the top, and you're going to pinch in. And then right where I have it pinched, this is where it's going to go right inside that pipe cleaner, just like this. Then you twist your pipe cleaner, and then you're going to open your loop. You're going to move your tail to the outside, and then you flip the other one around. So then you have a 3D bow. And then you just plop it. Cut all the excess pipe cleaners off. Trying to do that after it's already fluffed out. Right around the back side.
Olin is up in Wenatchee, Washington.
I was looking at houses there today. I really was. I was like, wow, it's a pretty area. We want more, I think, of the foresty side. I think you're like right on the cusp of like,
yeah.
Right?
And then Glenda, those are also cut to 19 inches, right?
Yes,
those
19 inches. Yeah. So I have 6 of each for the 1.5 inches. Let me get this one sliding in. Felt like there was one missing, but we're not. Just double checking.
Angie knows, so the 2.5 inch tails at the bottom are cut to 14 inches. Mm-hmm. And then the 1.5 inches with the half bow are cut to 19 inches.
Yes.
That way when you do the 2 inches, they're about the same length as the 2.5 inch tail.
Yes. That's what, man, I remember when we first started, everything was like 10-inch tails, 11-inch tails. I went 12, then 13. It just honestly depends where you as a creative want your ribbon tails to end. I kind of want mine out just a touch further than the mesh, but it just depends on your personal style.
Well, thank you, Deborah. She said, I just love the way you and your husband work together on this. Well, she does all the work. I just commentary.
You commentary, but he knows stuff now.
She said some of the other husbands on these learning pages get on my last nerve. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, it's interesting when you hear him talk about it to other guys, like what it is that I do or how we put everything together. And it's like, you've got the terminology down, you know exactly what to say. Yeah. Sometimes I try to trick him and I change up my ribbon lengths. I'll be like, oh, those are cut to 18. Nope, they're cut to 19. Why'd you cut them to 19? Just to throw you off. No, the reason why we changed them to 19 now is I wanted them to end where the 14-inch tails ended. They were kind of coming up just a little shy. So I wanted them to all be even.
I actually kind of like them a little bit shorter, like the 18-inch, because it has like a layered look. You know what I mean? Like you can see the bottom 2.5 inches on the bottom, and then you see the inch and a half.
It depends on how you lay them. I try to put my 2.5-inch tail between the 1.5 inch so you can see everything.
Right.
And then the mesh too.
And I zoomed in so you can kind of see them up close.
Okay. I know I keep pushing it, so.
Yeah, you're doing the designing a little bit different on this one too, because normally you do like a yellow and black. And
yeah, I did. Normally I would. Normally I put black on yellow and yellow on black, but I was like, because I wanted the association to be that those are yellow or white orange, lemon blossom flowers, not just white flowers on yellow ribbon. So I thought the contrast between lemons on white and blossoms on yellow would make an interesting contrast.
Deborah earlier said, yeah, she sold one wreath and got 2 custom orders by noon.
Nice.
But there wasn't a car in the parking lot. She said 9 to 5 again tomorrow, so hope it's better, but it'll still be hot.
That's the thing. I think it's the weather.
Yeah.
So maybe ones in the fall will be really nice to be a part of. Because I think, you think about would you want to be out shopping in 104-degree weather if you didn't have to be? Okay, a couple more. Yellow on yellow.
Maria Hill said, I have learned so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Maria. I love teaching. I love making them. I would love to do a live class, like an in-person class. Who knows? You never know where the future will take you.
Sebastian does. It does a great constraint such as that red and beige farmhouse wreath behind you. Just love that one.
And the fact that we put it on a black door.
Yeah, so tops.
Yeah, which is why I flipped the door around. This is the white door, flipped around to the other side. So if you guys are used to seeing the white door, we have it painted black on the opposite side so that when you do something like this, you have that really nice bold contrast.
Right.
Which helps people that if they have a black door, this is what it would look like on your door or a white door. So I felt that flipping this around, so when we finish the yellow wreath, it's going to have a nice contrast as well.
Clara, good question.
What's that?
How many wreaths do you have hanging in your home?
A lot.
Well, just from what I can see right now.
They're all integrated into our home's decor.
About 7.
Yeah, 7 in the general area where we're looking. I have one over my kitchen sink. There's one over my kitchen pantry door. There's one on my pantry door. And then it's all based on space. Mm-hmm. So I have two extra bedrooms, right? Yeah, because my craft closet can't put anything in there. But so 2 extra closet spaces. I take them and you can slide a hanger through the back, and then you hang them like you do closing your closet. And then it keeps them dust free. And That's how they
It's
get
funny
stored.
when she gets closer into the major season, which is September, I would say, where she's really starting to crank out Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
She probably has 40 in the house.
Maybe.
Maybe 30 to 40.
Yeah. Because you would think, okay, people are buying Christmas. No, people who at Christmas time are buying for gifts. So you're thinking non-Christmas. You're doing the everyday welcome wreaths. You're doing farmhouse. You're doing whatever the future season is. The everyday ones are really popular because those you can alternate in between all the ones that you might not have a holiday for.
Especially we're all going to paint our doors black now because of you.
Ours would not look good because the outside of our home is gray and blue.
Yeah.
So the black door wouldn't look good. But yeah, there's a lot of homes that I think would look great with a black door.
Yeah, that was a great kind of idea that we had to make a door as a prop and put caster wheels on the bottom so we can just literally
Roll it in.
around and it's white.
Roll it on out.
Roll it on out. Yeah.
Yep. I know, it literally is a door on wheels. So when we're done, we just wheel it over there and that's where it sits. Till Sunday or, well, till Fridays. Because Sundays we do the overhead.
I think you were really one of the first ones too to do that for the prop door behind you.
Well, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm looking for property in Washington or a home with property because I want a huge studio and I want to build a front of the house facade. So I want a porch with the railings and the side posts and the front door. So when we're out there actually doing that, like when we're there for the holidays, if we're doing swags for your pillar posts, we have all that there. So then it makes sense. Because you're like, oh, we'll be decorating the porch for every season. You know?
Carl also asked, how many of the wreaths that you make are you tempted to keep? Not as many as you think.
Yeah, not...
A few, but not too many.
I mean, when you have like a really nice design, like I think my favorite right now is the butterfly grapevine. So that's like your transition for summer to fall. So tempted to keep that one. Just because it was new technique. I like the color palette. You can't get the butterflies. You know, it's like once product becomes out of stock or obsolete or they just discontinue it, they're not carrying it anymore, then you're like, wow. Mm-hmm. Should I keep that one?
Hi, gals, just joining.
Okay, there's all the outside pieces. Now we are going to make our bow. Then we're going to attach our sign, put our bow on, and then add our lemons embellishments. So I'm using the Bow Dabra. I should just, from time to time, change it, but you kind of go with where you're comfortable. The Bow Dabra for me is my universal tool, so not only can I make a bow, it holds my ruffles, it holds my curls, it's like an extra pair of hands. And it stores perfectly flat.
And we'll zoom down when you do it.
Okay, so in addition to the 4 that we have, we're also doing the yellow and white Swiss dot. And then we're going to add in a gingham black and white on the outside, but it's got that solid white on the inside stripe. Fifth Street Studio, Personally Yours. This was Craft Outlet, Hobby Lobby, but you can also get it at Craft Outlet, and then Craft Outlet as well. So let us stack these in the order we want them to be. Let's put the black on the bottom so it pops against the yellow.
Deborah, that is really sweet. And this is one of the reasons why Kat still does all her videos on Fridays and Sundays. Deborah said, I live alone and sometimes it gets really lonely. Just wanted to say I look so much forward to your show. You and your hubby have become my new best friends. I will
Aww.
soon be 70, and I love learning something new.
Well, welcome to hanging out with us on Friday nights. We love having you here. And that's why we have maintained. I have been Friday night at 5 for, in September, it will be 5 years. 5 years. Yes, 5 full years. So here is my layout. I take the time and just kind of put them all together. I usually put something fancy at the very, very top because that's the very first thing your eye sees. So we're going to do the lemon blossoms on the very top. We're doing the black and white plaid simply because we have that solid yellow base. So the black is going to pop that entire ribbon and set it like away from everything else. So we need to dovetail. So it just means bring your wired edges together, just like this. You're going to take your scissors, and depending upon how deep you want to bring, you know, your V into your ribbon is going to be where you start your cut on the folded edge. So I like mine fairly deep. So the destination point's always going to be the end of the wired edge. So just like that, and you have the perfect dovetail. So the first time I learned that, I was like, oh man, it's gonna change Christmas packages forever. So we are doing 10 inches. We're going to gather at 10 inches, and then you're gonna twist. Even though this is technically, it's the same on both sides, it just helps your ribbon fluff better. It defines your curls rather than leaving it flat where you can kind of pull it. We're gonna do 5.5-inch loops. So what that means is these guys are gonna start to roll. Take your Bodabra, so it's got that center line through it. I line it up right here on my 10-inch mark. I pull my loops out, and then I can start to pull them in, and right there's 5.5 inches. Gonna flip this over, twist, lay it in, put it back on that 10-inch mark, and this one's a little short, so we're gonna pull more material in, and then we're gonna right side our ribbon tail, go back out 10 inches, and then we're gonna put that finished dove edge, dovetail, fishtail, ducktail, whatever you wanna call it. That's the end. So that is this one. Now we'll do our lemon. Love this ribbon. So same thing, always start with your edge. We're gonna measure this out in 9.5 inches. Do our twist, place it inside the Bodabra. And now we're gonna measure 5-inch loops, same way. Just kind of gauge where you think 5 inches might be, and then pull in until you have it at 5 inches. Flip it around to the other side. I think that's about 5, a little bit more, right there. And then back out to 9.5 inches and dovetail. Now, this is my formula. We figured this out when we had our private group class, because we did a bow class. It's a recipe for the same bow to be consistently the same size. This bow will be 4.5 inches high, and it will be 10 to 11 inches if you're measuring from the end of the loops, not the end of the tails. Because the tails we kind of, you know, will bring down, or if kind of follows the rest of the the wreath all the way around. So that just gives you consistency. Could you do a bow with just these two? Absolutely. You can continue to do the process, you just won't have all the extra tails. Or if you wanted, you can come back in with the black and white plaid, add the next or the third ribbon to the bundle. I do 6, and just keep alternating if you wanted multiple tails, but you know, gradually getting smaller as you get to the top. It's entirely up to you. But there is no perfect way to do a bow. It's just whatever your preference is for what you want to see on a wreath is entirely up to you. So this one's going to be 9 inches twist, and on this one we're down to the 1.5 inch ribbon. We're doing 4.5 inch for our loop.
Sebastian asked, do you think I could get a bow maker on Amazon? It sure is a great helper.
Yes, go to Amazon.
You should have Amazon UK.
Yeah, just make sure you don't get the small one. It should be the large Bodabra, because the small one's for making hair bows. Okay. So make sure, and I want to
be the Bodabra Deluxe, large Deluxe. Something
like that. And I'm not sure what the price point is. I know what the price point is roughly here. I think it's been so long since I've ordered Bodabra. I think they're like 25.
I could check those, but
I don't remember.
On our Amazon, I can tell you how much it is.
So we're back out here. Yeah, and thank God for Amazon throughout the world, because you can get a lot of your supplies there. You can buy your wreath signs. A lot of suppliers now are selling Deco mesh. We do have a supplier in the UK, but I don't think that helps in France. If it does, you can go to Richens Wreath Supplies, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And they're in the UK. So they are a wreath supplier in the UK.
Our Amazon is $20.
20 bucks?
Yeah.
Nice. So 20 US dollars.
Yep.
Okay. Bow number 4 is going to be 8.5 inches, or ribbon number 4. It's also going to be 4.5 inches for the loop length. So I don't have to be precise on measuring because the bottom one is already at 4.5. So by placing my fingers in the loops, I can give it a tug and kind of get that measure a little bit more precise. And then we're back out. 8.5. Dovetail. There's that one. Then we're on to ribbon number 5. So this one, let's cut the end off that. So when you have ribbon like this that is stitched on the sides, this ribbon you have to be very careful with, because as you're fluffing it or pulling it, you know, even through the Bodabra and making sure it's all nice and smooth, you could actually separate the gingham edge from that white ribbon in the middle. So just be a little careful on those. You can even see them when they do a tricolor stitch through them. Same thing.
It looks like Richens Wreath Supplies there, not carrying too much.
Maybe they're out of stock waiting on more.
Yeah, definitely try to find some places in the UK that carry it. It'll be cheaper for you.
Okay, so this one is 8 inches with a 4-inch loop. So we need to make sure we're at 4 inches. 4 inches. This is bringing the plaid back to the top. It's like a reminder that, hey, remember we are black and white. because the plaid's way at the bottom now. So it's tying that into our sign. And then our last one is going to be the flowers. And this one's going to be 7.5 inches for the tail length and 3.5 inches for the loop length. So we measure out 7.5, gather, twist, and then we're going to bring in our 3.5. Should be right about there, 3.5. Okay, back out, 7.5. Okay, there we are. Everything's all neat and tidy. So, pipe cleaner. Let's use yellow. Find it's easier if you get your pipe cleaner handy. That way when you pick up all of your ribbon, it's already in that shape you need it to be in. So I'm just going to switch off my hands, drop that right to the center, hold it really tight to the bottom, and just twist my stack, but hold the pipe cleaner. You can do it with floral wire, you can do it with a zip tie, whatever you would like, whatever works for you. And now we're going to do the board. So this is my fluff board. It's a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of wood. I had this custom made by a friend with a 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook that you can just screw right down into the middle.
Yeah, I think it's just an inch.
You think it's an inch?
Yeah.
I think it's 1.5 inches. But I just use that to secure. I just hook on my pipe cleaner like that so it keeps it from sliding completely off the counter. That's all it's there for. And now we're going to separate, starting with the top, we're going to separate a tail from its loop. Okay, then we go to the other side. We're going to move our loop over and move our tail over here. So the tails match up, the loops match up. Then we're going to go back to the top, and now we're going to do opposite. So our tail went here, we're bringing our tail over here. Okay, we're going to drop our loop down. I'm going to go over to the other side and just follow the opposites. So here's my loop, and here's my tail. And so now what it's doing is it's alternating the tails in color from the loops in color with each one that I bring down. Now, if I wanted to go here, see it's starting to become black all on one side, yellow on the other, mix it up. So let's flip these and go, let's put black on top of the yellow, and then we'll do it here. And then here, we're gonna put our yellow on top of the black. And you can switch those up. Just whatever you do on this side, follow the opposite on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
now.
she uses Betty Crocker scissors from Dollar Tree, so you can literally get like 5 pair for $5. Or, yeah, 5 pair for $5, and
yep.
you're probably good for a year and a half.
I gave up using expensive scissors. When you start cutting wired ribbon that's pretty thick, you really dull your good scissors. So I save the good scissors for satin ribbon or ribbon that has a little bit thinner that you need that precise cut on. And there we go. So see what I've done? I've alternated yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. even though I didn't follow the same rules of, you know, black here, yellow here, it should have been black, but you can change it. As a designer, you can mix up whatever you want to see. And then we're going to take and put our fingers in the loops and start giving it some life. Just like that.
Thank you for making, very informative.
Oh, you're so welcome. And then we're going to do the same here. And I'm just like playing with, okay, do I want to see the yellow in between these, or would I rather see the yellow off to the side and bring the black in between? It's entirely up to whatever you like. You're the designer. You decide. I'll do it here. I'm just going to move my tails around, bring my loops up. Okay, same thing, bringing our tails around. And then I kind of like the way the yellow pops in between these, so I'm going to let that stay. And then I'm going to take the black and white and kind of come out to the side a bit. Do the same over here. Call that my 4-finger one. So you put your 4 fingers in and really give it. You don't want to have flat ribbon. You want to have loops. That's why we use the wired ribbon. If loops didn't matter, we'd use that in ribbon. And then to put the curl back in them, all you have to do is just run them through your hands like this.
Oh, curling ribbon with scissors.
Yeah, it's just like your hands are curling ribbon. Just like that. It's a little harder to do the bottom ones because you can't really curl on the wood. But we can bring that over. Again, whatever you would like it to look like. Designer's choice. But there's your bow.
Yep,
Got it. Good. Okay. So this now makes a really nice picture. So if you just wanted to sell bows, having a really nice work surface for your bows, this now is photo ready. So you can take a picture of this. It looks really nice. You can see, you know, how far everything goes. So I always say, always think about how you can stage, because there's some people who just enjoy making bows. So, you know, what are you going to put it on? Just stage that so people can get a visual of about how big is that? Okay. Let's prep our sign. So I'm going to remove the twine off the back. And then I'm going to use yellow pipe cleaners. So as long as your sign is a 1/4 inch thick and you use 1/4 inch staples, you can just staple your pipe cleaners right to the sign, which is what I'm going to do. My cats just left. They just don't like the sound of the staple gun. There's that one.
You can hear that, I'm telling you, so quick.
I know, he's like gone. All you have to do is just pick it up.
Yep.
So it makes the sound. Just like so. Couple twists. We're good to go there. So our sign's all prepped and ready. Let's bring our wreath over. So now we can actually see what happens. And look, just by popping, here's the before, right? There's the before, here's the after. So you have a really nice contrast.
Right.
So what I have a tendency of doing is looking for my inside pipe cleaners. You know, those ones that we cut off? Try to find those. I have one right here. So I'm going to go right over this one. And I'm going to pull my mesh that is right on the outside, not the inside piece, but the outside pieces. There we go. So when I pull this in, I can push it down to where I need it to stop, Go ahead and give it your twist. Go to the other side. There's your pipe cleaner. Go ahead and get that one down. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull back my mesh. From the outside before I just cinch that down. It's just so much easier to get it before I do it. Right about there. And then you've got to, of course, fluff all the other stuff that you have. Grab the ones from the bottom. So those are easy to tell because your half bows are telling you, hey, here's where your mesh ended. So you're not grabbing the wrong piece. This is still part of our inside. Right there. We're going to nicely frame the edge. Right up in here is home for our bow. So I got to make it a landing spot, which means I need to take some of the mesh, kind of tuck that underneath. That way it's going to give my sign some life. Still do the same on here. There we go. There's that one. Redirecting. There we go. Okay. Just like that. And now we're going to plop our bow on. Got to find your pipe cleaners. This is going to sit right about here. Once I get everything out. So it's going to frame the corner of my sign. So if you remember from last week when we did the blueberries, we're doing, and that's a good taste combination, blueberries and lemons. A little sweet, little sour. Move those out of the way. I'm going to push this down, and then we'll fluff one more time. Okay. So we're going to redirect some of our tails.
I'm going to put this back down, and we're going to see the final on the door.
Thank you for doing that. Okay, let's flip it. Kind of see where these ones. I am just redirecting my mesh so my bow will lay a little nicer right on the spot so we can see all the pretty ribbon.
Guys, beautiful and great choices in selecting ribbons.
Oh, thank you.
And she said, she's beautiful. I have most of these supplies except for one of the resins. Going to have to make one tomorrow now.
But it's going to look so amazing when you place it on your door. Okay. Let's get that one. I'm going to cut that one just a touch, just because it's not laying where I want it to lay. So this way when I fold it, it kind of falls in place. And that's why you can mix and match and do whatever you want with your ribbons. Let's give it some height so we see all those. Okay. There we go. Fluffing. Lots of fluffing. Okay. Embellishment time, right? So I am going to be using, this pick was my prop. If you guys saw my photos earlier, this was my prop. So I'm going to be breaking this down and we're going to add some of this. It has your lemon blossoms. It has your lemon leaves. This is from Greenery Market. Greenery Market has really nice florals, but they're a little on the higher price side. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Like for this, you could take 2 of these and put these on a grapevine, add a nice bow and a sign, and you have a lemon grapevine wreath already done, color coordinated. Of course, you'd fluff it a bunch more than how I have this here, but that just lets you know, because I did it for photos. Because I had my photos laying low. You could fluff it out any which way you want, add some florals to that. So I am going to break this down.
Sebastian, thanks for staying with us. He said, so refreshing, that lemon wreath. Totally forgot I could not sleep because of the high temps.
Aww.
You the best.
You're so welcome.
Thumbs up and a lemon emoji.
So we have like a lemony vine. I like the lemon pick with the leaves on it. They're all wired. So I'm kind of fabricating my own pick. I do that quite a bit. Just kind of playing with the different greenery. I'm going to do greenery first and then come back in. I'm looking to make small. Let's go with the green. Add the blossom, then add the pick. Like that. That is nice. Zip tie, hang on. So I'm going to zip tie this together, just so the bundle stays together. Should have had my 4-inch, but I don't think I have any of my bottles. So I'm going to use 6. You could take floral wire and floral wire them together. Look, that'd make a nice boutonniere.
Yeah.
Right? A lemon boutonniere.
Hi, Kathy. She said hello from Texas.
Hi.
Thanks for staying with us on this Friday night.
So there we go. And now I can cut everything way down. So I don't need to have all this length. And we're going to add some of these around our sign. So I'm feeling like maybe do we want to add one in here? I'm looking for ways to get them to seat. Like I like that. It's very pretty. We'll do the same thing. We'll break these down again.
There's a bit more of a stem so you can stick it in there.
No.
No.
No. I am leaving it short. So I like the bigger leaves. So let's take this one. It's the true lemon leaf. So I'm doing lemon leaf with a little piece of the fern. This one's going to go up towards the top. But I like this one better.
Deborah asked, what time are you on Sundays in the public group?
Sundays at 6 Pacific, which is 8 Central and 9 Eastern. But I think this Sunday, a no-go just because of Father's Day. But I will put something in its place, like something I think you guys might like. Just so, since Steve has no kids, because they're all like moved far, far away, I will make sure you're appreciated for Father's Day.
We have already got what we're going to pretty much do.
Look for houses?
No, we're gonna go and see Top Gun.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Top Gun. We saw it last week, which is really good.
And we're gonna take her brother to go see it.
Yes. So I'm taking these, flipping the leaves around so they're more the right way, because they kind of have a mind of their own. And then some of these already got floral wire in them, so I can take them and just twist them around. So another one of my boutonnieres. I think I'm gonna tuck this one a little bit up. I think it's gonna go kind of in here, because I want the greenery. I have to come in and add some additional greenery for that one. But yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to, let me do this, move this over here, move these over so you can actually see. I have my glue gun. I use a silicone pad because on days like today where I don't really want to pull out a glue pot just for a couple glue items, I will just take my glue gun, hold it over the silicone mat, make sure all that is nice and glued good. I'm gonna take this and actually lay this right on top of my mesh, which makes for a really nice way to secure that into your wreath. Just like so. There's one. Come over here to this side. We're going to do the exact same thing. Back over here. We're going to glue all the way down the stem. Not only are we gluing it together, but we're also gluing it so it has something to adhere to on the mesh. Like this. And right on top. So we can get some of the greenery to lay where I want it to lay. Take a couple pieces of the leaves. To be. I'm going to extend this so I have that one leaf that just won't lay. So I want to add just a little bit more greenery. So I'm fabricating my little picks. So back to the front. Add one
almost
more.
Done.
Yeah, almost done. And I think we have a really small one. So that pick actually, I don't even think they have this pick anymore. They have one now that has 3 in it. So I'm going to take this off. Let's see. I'm going to go with this. Not a fan of that. Let's do a blossom. And a smaller bunch of leaves. This is going to have to get customed even more because we can't have that big. So, let me look. Now adding some to the inside of our bow. Let's go smaller on top of larger. And maybe not so much. little bit. Okay, I like that. So sometimes it's just placing before you add it in. So we're going to place that inside our bow. Use a smaller piece. Off to the side. Are you going up and over?
Yeah, I know it's hard for me to kind of see it.
We're going to add that right to the inside. And glue right to the bottom of my lemon, because I have a little mini lemon. And make sure the glue is out of the way. And then I have a couple things that I'm going to add in here right to the bottom outside. So where was this? 1, 2, 3, which is perfect. So I have 3 locations towards the bottom with my lemon yellow, and I happen to have 3 slices of lemon. We can either tuck them into the black, which makes for a really nice contrast, and I have 3 of those. Let's get this one situated. Add another slice, and add another slice. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to add my slices in. Same thing. I'm just going to add it to the quarter that's going to sit underneath. Like so.
I love this. Yellow always makes me smile.
This is available for sale. It is on my website. I'm going to move this. Right underneath. That way it's giving those a chance to set up. So when I pick it up, it doesn't just slide off. And last one. There we go. Just like that. That way you have lemon slices.
She said even when you're not smiling, yellow will make you smile.
It does. So I have these 3 pieces right here. And I'm just going to add those to the side. Don't want too much glue. And I should be able to go back now and grab this one. Okay, last one. So now that pick just has like 1 lemon left on it.
So you're going to leave that other corner open?
Which other color?
The corner?
This one? Yeah. It's always good to do odds, not evens. Yeah. Okay, we are finished. So, let's put this up here. And this over here. Make sure my ribbons and glue threads are off. There's this one. Okay. So prepping it for photos, make sure all your ribbon is, your tails are straight. You don't want to have crimpy corners, folded corners. You want everything straight.
Angie said outstanding. Give it lots of likes and loves.
Is it? No, it's not straight.
Now it is.
Now it is. Okay. So there you go. That's on a black door, so it really pops that entire design. Yellow or white might not pop it as much. I think it would kind of, I don't know. But there you guys go. There's the design for Friday. So this is a Summer Lemon Wreath. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Letting you guys know the private group has reopened. So we are taking new members if you want to join us and get more in-depth level training, plus have access to all the discounts that we have secured with vendors. Members get discounts on their materials depending upon who they buy from. Plus you get detailed materials lists for every public and every private live. You can do that at KatsCreationsNMore.com, which I think you have pinned at the bottom. I think. No, you have new. Just go to KatsCreationsNMore.com. The very first thing that comes up on that page is for the private group. I'd love to have you come join us. We're going to be starting Christmas in July. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of Christmas designs in July because, believe it or not, there are lots of families that do their family Christmas celebrations in July. So we're going to definitely make sure that we're meeting our clients' needs. So thank you guys for joining. Have a great weekend. Make sure you wish all of the men a happy Father's Day if you're fathers. And I will talk to you all next week, Friday. So have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now, everyone.